It's the show that magicians around the globe don't want you to see. The Masked Magician is back, out of hiding, daring to expose the world's most highly guarded secrets. You'll find out how they perform amazing appearances, death-defying escapes, baffling levitations, astounding vanishes, mind-blowing sleight of hand, and impossible illusions. No magician is too famous. No trick too big. No secret too sacred. The magician's code will be forever broken on magic's biggest secrets finally revealed. Tonight, the Masked Magician pulls back the curtain and exposes the secrets to producing beautiful girls from thin air, making live birds appear and vanish at will, crushing a gorgeous woman and puncturing a hole through her body. Plus, see a 16-ton trolley car levitate, then disappear. Find out how it's done, and much more, right now on Magic's Biggest Secrets, finally revealed.
For his first illusion tonight, the magician will present a giant version of a classic trick. To perform it, he'll use this large three-sided screen. As we can see, the outside of the screen is green. When folded, the three sides form a triangle. We can also see that the screen is solid, with no hidden trapdoors and no one hiding behind or on either side. Now he calls for some backup. Two male assistants enter to lend a hand. They unfold the screen so that we can see all three panels at the same time. Nothing unusual here. Now to rotate the screen. We can see that the opposite side is orange, and there's nothing unusual here either. On the magician's command, the men fold in the sides to again form a triangle. The triangle is rotated so we can see all three sides. It opens, and two beautiful girls appear from nowhere. The screen is opened so that we can see there's no one hiding on this side. Now it's rotated to show no one is on the other side. It's empty. Once again, the magician has his assistants fold the screen into a triangle, then rotate it to show all sides. It opens, and two more beautiful girls emerge from nowhere. An amazing way to double your pleasure and double your fun. So, how did the magician use this large three-sided screen to produce two beauties and then two more? Here are the secrets. The first one is in the deceptive design of the screen. When we open it up and look closely, we can see that there is a concealed handrail running along the inside of the center panel. Down below is a tiny ledge. We'll show you how these are used later. The next secret is that there are actually 4 panels, not 3. This is more easily seen from above. The fourth panel is painted on one side to match the orange panel next to it. When the illusion begins, the three green panels are facing out, forming a triangle. But before the trick began, the four girls and one male assistant were loaded inside. Nice job. I like those odds. To show both sides of the screen without revealing the assistants or the hiding place, a complex choreography goes into action. From behind, we see that as the male assistants open the screen, the girls remain hidden while the extra male assistant manipulates the fourth panel. Two of the girls cling to the fourth panel by means of the ledge and the handrail. The other two girls simply follow behind the screen, being careful to stay out of view of the audience. Next, the magician and his men show the orange side of the screen. From behind, we see how all of the panels are carefully manipulated to keep the girls hidden. Next, the ends of the screen are folded in to form a triangle with the green sides facing out. Here's how the complicated move happens from behind. If you're as confused as I am, let's take a look from above. We can now see how the magician freely shows the green side of the screen while the assistants are hiding behind the panel on the right. The front of the screen swings around to the right as the girls and the extra male assistant scurry to stay hidden behind the extra fourth panel, now on the left. The magician is free to show the orange side thanks to that fourth panel. The process is reversed to fold the screen into a triangle. The girls stay hidden the entire time, and now they are closed inside. The magician opens the screen and allows the first two girls to come out, making it look like they magically appeared. From above, we can see that the others are careful to remain hidden. We repeat this process to reveal the second two girls. First, he shows us the green side of the screen, then the orange side. Again, the audience only sees three sides at a time, unaware that the fourth panel exists. The magician opens it up again to allow the remaining two girls to step out as the extra male hides inside. And now you know the tricky secrets to this very intricate illusion. Here's a trick that street magicians use to show they can make magic with common objects. In this case, the magician will use this ordinary cup of piping hot coffee. A few mysterious gestures are all it usually takes for something miraculous to happen. Watch carefully. The coffee magically turned into a pile of coins. Several dollars worth of coins. Almost enough to pay for a fancy latte. Okay, so how does the magician make the coffee turn into coins right before our disbelieving eyes? Here are the secrets. First, he casually shows us that the coffee cup is ordinary. It's not. Concealed inside is another smaller cup. This cup is just large enough to fit below the coffee line. A sponge has been cut to fit inside the outer cup, which has a small hole in the bottom. This hole, no bigger than his finger, is one of the keys to the trick. The small cup, filled with coins, goes into the outer cup, on top of the sponge. Finally, the cups are topped off with some coffee. The real kind. When the magician places his right hand behind the cup, he's placing his finger inside the hole. The small cup rises, causing the coffee to spill over its sides and down onto the sponge. Now only the coins are visible. And that's how he fools us on his coffee break.
Up next, the secrets to making live birds appear and disappear by magic. crushing a gorgeous woman, then ramming a porthole through her body, using ordinary ashes to make a prediction come true. Plus, find out how the magician makes a genuine trolley car vanish in the blink of an eye.
Next, the magician will perform a mind-boggling illusion using these two boxes. As we can see, both boxes look like small chests, though one is larger than the other. One wonders what treasures are contained within. They're too small to hold his assistants, so it's a safe bet there's a different kind of valuable inside. He opens the smaller box so we can see that it's completely empty. Maybe the treasure is in the bigger box. How about that? A chick. Not exactly the type of chick he usually employs, but we'll see where this trick goes. Watch. The magician places the baby chick into the smaller box. Then he shows us that the large box is empty. No more chicks. The magician reaches back into the large box and pulls out another baby chick. Amazing! He just showed us that the box was empty. But that's what magicians do. He carefully places the chick into the small box to be with the other chick. As we all know, chicks like to hang out together. He reaches back into the empty box and removes another baby chick. And now he goes back for another. He finds one. Another chick from an empty box. It's a treasure chest after all. He places this one into the small box with the others. Must be getting crowded in there by now. The magician goes into the empty box for yet another. It seems like he could go on like this all day, if we let him. The bird goes into the small box. And now for more magic. He opens the small box and it's empty. The birds have vanished. Incredible. Let's check the big box. It's empty too. The magician can make them come and go at will, just like the big chicks. So, how did the magician create a seemingly endless stream of baby chickens and make them all disappear? The secrets are concealed in the boxes and this table. When the trick begins, the magician takes a chick from the big box and places it into the smaller box. Here is the first secret. There is a hole in the bottom of the box and the table below. But then how did the magician show us the empty box? Concealed inside is a false bottom that's hinged to swing up, revealing the hole. This stick, mounted on the table, keeps the false bottom open, allowing the magician to access the hole. So when he puts the bird into the box, he's really reaching through the hole and placing it in a receptacle that's concealed under the table. The big box is constructed with the same setup, a false bottom above a hole in the table. When he appears to pull the second bird from the big box, it's really the same baby chick. But how did it get from beneath one box to the other? The secret here is controlled by this hidden pedal. Built into the leg of the table is a line that operates a spring-loaded mechanism that's connected to the secret receptacle. These backstage angles show how the magician uses the pedal to maneuver the receptacle. Here's how the chicken goes for a ride. Here we see how the chick is moved from beneath the small box to the big box. This creates the illusion that the magician is removing many chickens from the big box. When he takes what appears to be the final chick from the big box, he places it in the receptacle where it waits to be removed later. The magician is now free to show the box empty. And that's how it's done. You'd have to be a bird brain to be fooled with this one again. Next, the magician will perform a minor miracle with an ordinary deck of playing cards. As we can see, there's nothing special about the cards. Let's hope there's something special about the trick. He covers the cards with an empty wooden box. Next, he gives the cards a good shake, so we know they're securely held inside the box. Watch. The magician now takes a pair of scissors, waves them over the box, and makes some magical snipping motions in the air. Another shake, and the cards have been cut to pieces by magic. This isn't what they mean when they say cut the deck, but the masked man never plays by the rules. He gathers the cut pieces and returns them to the box. Oops, don't forget those. We want to play with a full deck. He returns the pieces, then places the lid back onto the box. A magical shake, and then the cards are back in one piece. Or 52 pieces. You know what I mean. They're whole again by magic. So, how does the magician place the seemingly ordinary deck of cards into the box, make a few waves with the scissors, and reveal the deck has been magically cut to pieces? Here are the secrets. First off, a small tray containing cut cards is concealed in the wooden box. When the trick begins, the magician supposedly shows us that the cards are real by fanning a few of them off the top of the deck. Notice it's just a few. That's because the rest of the deck is really a solid plastic shell. Here's another secret. When he turns the shell over, we can see that it's hollow and filled with pieces of cut cards. Before the illusion began, the magician filled the hollow shell with the cut pieces. He closes the shell with the base of the wooden box, then places a few cards on top of the shell to make it appear like an ordinary deck. During the trick, he covers the fake cards with the wooden box and shakes it. This move is to conceal the fact that he's simply flipping the entire box over, so that the base is now on top. This way he can reveal the cut cards, while the real cards are beneath the shell. He makes a few magical snips with his scissors to create the illusion that he's cutting the cards, then reveals the cut pieces that have been hidden in the shell. To restore the cards, he simply covers the box and turns it back over. This action places the real cards back on top of the upside-down shell and hides the cut cards from view. Presto! Back in one piece. Cutting cards by magic. Simple, when you know the secrets.
Coming up next, the secrets to squeezing a beautiful girl into a tiny box and punching a hole straight through her. Then, the incredible street magic trick that proves the mysterious powers of ESP. Plus, a 16-ton trolley rises, then vanishes in the blink of an eye.
For his next illusion tonight, the magician will employ this peculiar cabinet. As we can see, it's built with octagonal cutouts in the top and bottom sections. He'll also employ the help of an assistant. Some employment agency. He invites the girl to step into the box. Knowing what it means to her career, she obeys. He closes the bottom section of the cabinet and closes the door. Next, he closes the top half, but we can still see the girl inside. She gives us a cute little wave goodbye and then lowers a black shade behind the cutout. Next, the magician begins to lower the top section of the box down onto the bottom section, squeezing the girl inside. She's now been crushed down into that tiny box. No matter, he employs a bunch of girls. He gives the box a little spin so we can see each side. And sure enough, another assistant brings the magician an octagonal tube, among her other gifts. As we can see, it's empty. Next, he places the tube into the matching cutout in the box, a perfect fit. But has he forgotten there's still a crushed girl inside that box? Maybe not. The tube goes completely through the hole. As we can now see, it allows us a view all the way through to the other side. The girl in the box is gone, or she's been crushed and then impaled by that 8-sided tube. Either way, it's not pretty. The magician removes the tube, and his assistant takes it with her as she leaves. She giveth and taketh away. Next, the magician lifts the top section of the box back up just a bit, and it rises the rest of the way by magic. Tricky little cabinet. And there's the girl. Tricky little devil. He opens the cabinet and she steps out, completely free of crushing or puncture wounds, and looking great. What's her secret? So, how did the magician jam his beautiful assistant down into the small cube, puncture her with the 8-sided tube, and magically restore her to one stunning piece? Here are the secrets. The deception begins the second the assistant lowers the shade, hiding her from view. Once the shade is down, she releases 2 wedges that are holding the top half of the cabinet in place. This section can now easily slide down over the bottom box. But where does she go? First, she stands up and holds the upper box as it's pushed down. This creates the illusion that the magician is crushing her into the bottom box, yet allows her to safely control the action as she sinks down. The box contains several more secrets that allow her to fit. First, the base of the box is much deeper than it appears. When the box is empty, we can see that there is a lot of room for the girl to sit out of harm's way. The next secret is in the sides of the box. They're constructed of spandex, which expands to allow more room for the girl's back and legs. This black fabric isn't detected due to the deceptive paint job on the box. But even if she's managed to squeeze into the bottom box, how does the magician puncture it with the 8-sided tube? Here's the next secret. First, the girl removes a false panel at the back of the box. Then as the magician slides the tube through the octagonal hole, he's careful to keep it precisely on target. The assistant presses her back and legs against the side of the box, allowing the tube just enough room to slide through. With the top replaced with plexiglass, we can see how she helps feed the tube through the hole and manages to stay out of the way. Upon closer inspection, we can see how critical it is that she press against the sides to make room for the tube. Next, the magician simply reverses the action and removes the tube. The girl now has room to exhale and relax for a moment before her big reveal. She stands up, lifting the top box, creating the illusion that the magician is making it rise by magic. Of course, she's simply pushing it up as she stands. Presto, a magically restored girl. Congratulations, Masked Man. She did it again.
Up next, find out how street magicians prove they can read minds and change ordinary dollar bills into genuine 50s. And then, the magician makes a San Francisco trolley car levitate, then disappear.
Here's another trick street magicians play on unsuspecting victims. The masked magician is using one of his assistants to stand in for a randomly chosen volunteer. He tells her to think of the name of a friend or family member and write it on a pad of paper. He turns his back so he can't see what she's writing. When she's finished, she puts the cap back on the pen, tears off the sheet of paper, and hands the pen and pad back to the magician. She shows us the name, Mary. Remember, the magician can't see it, and normally he'd be using a random volunteer. Next, the assistant folds the paper into a small packet as instructed. The magician turns back around and presents a lighter and an ashtray. You can probably figure out what's going to happen next. The assistant places the folded paper into the ashtray, and the magician uses the lighter to set it ablaze. Feel the burn? Those are real flames, so don't try this at home. The magician douses the flames with his fingertips and scoops up some of the ashes. He sets down the ashtray and allows his jacket sleeve to pull back. With his sleeve up, we can see that there is nothing on his forearm. He sprinkles the ash onto his arm, then begins to rub the ash into his skin. Would you look at that? The name Mary magically appears. We just saw the magician ask his volunteer to write a name and show it to the camera. Then he burned the paper, rubbed the ashes onto his arm, and somehow made the same name appear. But you know he didn't do it by magic. Here are the secrets. First, the pad has been rigged with a piece of ordinary carbon paper, several sheets below the piece he offers to the volunteer. When she writes on the pad, the pressure from the pen on the carbon paper transfers the name to another sheet. While she is busy showing the name to the camera, the magician is sneaking a look at the carbon copy. The next secret is this small stick of clear wax. While we are looking at the name on the paper, the magician is secretly rolling up his sleeve and using the wax to write the name on his forearm. Since it's clear, we can't see it. That is, until he applies the ash, which sticks to the wax and reveals the name. Not hard to pull off, when you know the secrets. Next, the magician will demonstrate a close-up trick that is a favorite among TV street magicians. He displays a crisp $1 bill. Watch. He folds the bill in half, then in half again. Now he folds it one more time. He grips it between his fingertips, showing his hands empty. Watch for the magic. He unfolds the dollar bill, which has miraculously turned into a 50. That's the kind of inflation we can use, and it's all done with magic. So, how does the magician turn an ordinary $1 bill into a 50? Just by folding it in his fingertips. Here are the secrets. The magician starts with a real dollar, but secretly attached to the back is the folded 50. When the trick begins, the magician shows us how he folds the dollar, being careful to keep the 50 hidden from view. From behind, we can see how he manipulates the fold while concealing the 50. There it is on the bottom. He folds the top of the dollar down, and this is where he makes his move, flipping the bills over so the 50 is now in front and the dollar is on the back of it. Here it is from behind. Now all he has to do is unfold the 50 and reveal it to the audience. He keeps the dollar on the back side of it, hidden from view. That's how you make your money grow, when you know the secrets.
Next, the magician reveals the secret to making a 16-ton trolley car disappear without a trace.
Next, the magician will attempt one of his biggest illusions ever, using this genuine trolley car. As we can see, the car is authentic in every detail. From the brass handrails down to the highly polished wooden seats. Retro trolley cars like this give tourists and residents of San Francisco the experience of traveling streets no longer serviced by the surviving cars that still run on cable power. Kind of makes you want to eat some rice, doesn't it? But the magician has a different kind of treat in mind. Let's take a look outside. Here we can see the attention to detail on the exterior of the car, along with the routes that it serves. There is no mistaking that this is the real deal, all 16 tons of it. Two assistants enter with a wooden barricade. This is to make sure no one gets too close to the car during the trick, and to prevent it from going any place but where the magician wants it to go. And on this side are the beautiful girls. I was wondering when they'd make their appearance. Pretty maids all in a row. Back to the trick. Again, we see that the car is genuine. The assistants return with another wooden barricade to place in front of the trolley. Now that we're convinced it's real and not going anywhere, let's get ready for some magic. We can see that resting on top of the car is a giant sheet. You can bet it will come into play soon. The magician motions for the girls to release the sheet. I knew they'd be coming into play too. As the girls tend to the corners and bottom of the sheet, the magician makes his usual magical gestures. I wonder what's going on with the trolley. The girls are still adjusting the sheet, but we'd better check to see that nothing's amiss. The magician lifts the bottom edge, and we can see from the position of the front tire that the trolley hasn't moved an inch. Let's check the back. He lifts this edge, and we can see that the back tire is just where we left it. Sorry, girls, you can go back to adjusting the bottom of the sheet. There's nothing like a neat and tidy trick to end the show. Let's watch as the magician summons his magical powers. Watch. He gives a command, and the trolley appears to rise. Incredible. It weighs 16 tons, and yet it has lifted effortlessly above the floor. Look, it continues to levitate higher and higher into the air. Amazing. We can see all the way through to the row of lights that were illuminating the other side. The girls take hold of the sheet and wait for the magician. They pull. It's gone. The trolley car has vanished into thin air. The barricades are still in place, yet the trolley is gone. An impossible illusion, yet we've witnessed it with our own eyes. Nice trick, Masked Man. I have no idea how you pulled this one off.
Coming up next, find out how the magician made the genuine 16-ton trolley car disappear.
We just saw the magician make a genuine San Francisco trolley car levitate, then disappear. So how did he do it? Here are the secrets. First of all, it's a trick that can only be performed on television. When the illusion begins, the magician shows us the trolley car from all angles to prove that it's real. But take a look at the top of the trolley. What we don't see is this large metal frame, which is the same shape as the roof of the car. The frame is suspended from sturdy cables that hang from the ceiling. It's been constructed to fit exactly on top of the car, precisely duplicating its contours. Before the trick begins, the frame is carefully covered with the large silk sheet. A stagehand operating a powerful winch raises the frame and sheet several feet off the floor. Now it's time to bring in the trolley. This is a genuine trolley car, built in the design of the old cable cars. These days, it's used for sightseeing and tours of San Francisco landmarks. The car is carefully driven into place directly beneath the metal frame. We'll see later how the frame takes the place of this several-ton car. A few more inches, and the car is precisely in position. The frame is delicately lowered onto the fine machine, and the sheet is rolled up onto the roof of the car. This setup is in place long before the magician shows us the trolley. During the trick, the sheet is lowered, and the girls begin to fan the fabric, as if adjusting it. The magician lifts the corner to show the front tire, proving that the trolley is still in place. This is when a driver, concealed inside the trolley, climbs out of hiding and quickly gets behind the wheel. Out front, the magician shows the rear tire while the girls continue to fan the sheet. The camera carefully frames the scene so that we can't see the other assistants moving the barricade from behind the trolley. Now the metal frame is raised, creating the illusion that the entire trolley is levitating, thanks to the winch. Once the frame is above the roof, the car is free to be backed out of position. Meanwhile, the camera is carefully avoiding the action just off the right side of its frame. Otherwise, you'd see this. Not too magical. The girls never stop fanning the sheet, which conceals the movement of the trolley. The barricade is replaced so that when the camera pulls back, the rest of the scene appears untouched. The magician makes some gestures to give the impression that his powers are levitating the car into the air. But from behind, we can see that the frame is being lifted by the cables. The giant sheet is pulled down, and the TV audience believes that the trolley has vanished into thin air. In reality, the frame is quickly being raised at the same time the sheet is removed. Of course, the camera never includes this angle during the trick. The vanishing trolley car. Not an impossible illusion at all, when you know the secrets.
Next time, the Masked Magician returns to reveal more of magic's biggest secrets.
Coming right up, officers in South Wales have the rather tricky task of keeping rival football fans apart, and there's a speeding driver suffering from an identity crisis. Never a dull moment for those cops with cameras. And at 10, Dexter has to destroy an incriminating surveillance video as things start to get a little tricky in Miami, with the highlights from the game between Arsenal and Cardiff in the FA Cup at 11:10.